Hello, great people. Shocking breaking news. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senate President Godswill Akpabio have just done the unthinkable in Nigeria's history. The unprecedented in the history of Nigeria have just occurred as the Nigerian Senate, led by the APC senators who are in the majority, have just passed a loan of $6 billion US dollars. Yes, you heard me right. $6 billion US dollars. The loan have just been passed, and the loan is to be gotten from United Kingdom and UAE. But the shocking thing is that this particular loan was passed in just less than 4 hours. 4 hours. The president transmitted letter to the Senate. Senate President Godswill Akpabio informed the senators. He read it out, and in less than 4 hours, that loan was passed. You may be wondering, what time do they have to do the scrutiny of a loan of $6 billion US dollars? Yes, you heard me right. It's not 6,000, no. No be 60,000, no be 600,000, no be 600 million. 6 billion US dollars, which equivalents to over 1 trillion naira, have just been passed by Senate President Godswill Akpabio and his colleagues in the Nigerian Senate. What is the implication of this? I will be dissecting it for you. But before I go into that, if you are watching me and you are yet to subscribe, make sure you subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification button so that as they bring all this story, all this updates and analysis come your way, it go dey land for your hand in real time. First, let me tell you that by this action, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senate President Godswill Akpabio have just sold a part of Nigeria to what? To the United Kingdom and the UAE. You would think that, oh, this money is easy to get, but there is a saying that he who goes a borrowing goes a sorrowing. So that means that nothing is free. The more you borrow money, the more you keep your people in debt, the more you enslave yourself to these countries. And you may want to ask yourself that this money, what is it for? Then I will come back to selling Nigeria to London, because what they said this money is for is kind of like shocking. The Nigerian Senate and Bola Ahmed Tinubu disclosed that this particular loan of $6 billion is to repay debt. Part of it will be used to repay debt. You may be wondering that, repay debt, that means that you borrow money. You can't borrow money to repay the money where you borrow. You say your life, if Nigeria were to be a human being, that person's life, it don't scatter pata because you are in debt and you want to pay that debt. You now go and borrow money. You go borrow money. The money where you go borrow, you don't forget, say they go still add charges on top. So you go borrow money, want to pay debt. And that is what Nigeria has become under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Forget all this propaganda that, the likes of Reno Mokri, Daniel Bwala will be running their mouth. At the end of the day, these guys will make something out of the government. But you that you want to die because of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you will say your head, no, they correct. They feel reason right. You go send your pikin go school. Your pikin, go collect good result. You go abuse your pikin. You go give your wife money, say, do this for me. If your wife no do am well, you go vex. But you will vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, say, bring me change, bring me development, renew my hope. They go, they do anyhow. But you go, they praise and you go, they stand on Monday. Don't worry. If Nigerians do not curse you, your children that they are selling their future now will definitely have a cost for you sooner or later. Let me tell you the second thing that the loan, the $6 billion US dollars is for. You see that $6 billion US dollars, Bola Ahmed Tinubu want to use part of it to construct the Lagos port. You will be wondering that, what is happening? You went to the UK recently. You said you secured a loan of about $780 million. No, 780 million pounds. So which one is now the dollar aspect again? So I think that the Tinubu government needs to come and make clarity on that. And I've read a lot of reports that the money that Tinubu is borrowing, if you are borrowing that kind of amount, then there should be a national spread to the fund. There should be a national spread in the sense that if you are from Lagos, right, and people are accusing you of nepotism, then you now go and borrow money, a money that all Nigerians will pay, whether you like Tinubu, whether you hate him, you will pay. A money that all Nigerians will be responsible for the payment. You want to go and borrow such money, but the development that comes with that money will be concentrated in Lagos. That is another argument for another day. So if you are supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu now, don't worry, it's okay. You can support him, but don't forget that tomorrow there may be an Igbo president, there may be an Hausa president, a Fulani president, a Ijaw president, or a Ibibio president. A president can come from anywhere. So when that person starts to concentrate resources in his region, no shout, no vex. So because even if you do, your cries will not be listened to. So in all of this, so what did they pay me? They say, as it is so, Nigerian government, ever since I've been born as a Nigerian, till I grew up in Nigeria and I have opportunity of going abroad, Nigerian government till date, I've not done any. In fact, I can point to something of 5,000 naira that have benefited from the Nigerian government. I don't know about you, and I look forward to reading from you in the comment section. Maybe you've received scholarship, maybe your father have benefited something, or your mother, or maybe your children, or anybody are currently benefiting something from Nigeria. But me, maybe na me no get luck, and that's why I want to read from you in the comment section. And if you are watching me right now, please help me like this video, my dear people. You see, sir, they bring all this auto to recon your way, so do well to like this video if you are here to. So this money that Bola Ahmed Tinubu decide to be borrowing, now all of us go pay am. So if you like, support them. At the end of the day, whether you support them or not, they're already there, you will pay the money. And that is why it is always good to ask for accountability. But one thing that saddens my heart is the attitude of Nigerian leaders. And this is not just particular to Bola Ahmed Tinubu alone. You see, Nigerian leaders have one bad attitude, which is that anywhere there is free money, in quote, you know that it's easy for you to get a loan, right? Especially if you are a country, they will just extract one or two commitments from you. They may not kind of like collect collateral, just like an individual that is relating with a bank, right? They will just extract one or two commitments from you, or you will be able to kind of like change one or two or three of your policies. You say, oh, this your policy, we think it's not right. If you can change it like this, they will give you this loan. Now, in that kind of instance, it is like a free money, because the policy that you are changing, the effect of that policy will not be for you and your family. It is the ordinary Nigerians that will face the consequence. So, because of that, Nigerian leaders seem to be addicted to free money, in quote, but then they fail to realize that no money is free. No money in this world is free. If you are not paying for it immediately, Nigerians will pay for it now and in the future. But what concerns me most is that the lack of creativity of Nigerian leaders. Nigeria is not supposed to be borrowing. We are supposed to be lending money to the likes of Benin Republic, Togo, Gambia, Ivory Coast. We are supposed to be lending them money. But the amount of money that is being stolen in Nigeria daily by some of these ragtag politicians, that some of them cannot even speak, good English. Some of them even forge their certificate. Some of these politicians that you want to die for, the money that they are collecting, definitely it will backfire on you and your children. And that creativity is something that baffles me, because Nigeria has a lot of natural resources that can be explored. Nigeria can restructure itself in such a way that will practice true federalism. Every resources in Nigeria, I think about 200 of them, 200 natural resources that we have in Nigeria. These resources will be extracted and they would be used by the state, and they will be paying the adequate agreed remittances to the federal government. But rather than do that, what is the Nigerian government doing? We are practicing this unitarist kind of government that we are falsely claiming that it is federalism. So in all of this, creativity is important. And let us look at something else, which is that all this money, what thing are they use this money for? All this money, what have you been using it for? If you look at it, there's no meaningful development. The health sector is in comatose. Despite all the borrowing, Tinubu only released 36 million naira out of the, I think, 1 point something billion or thereabout that was budgeted for the whole of the health of Nigerians. 36 million naira was the only money that was released. The big question is, where is all this money going into? There's no meaningful development. Almost all the sectors is lacking in one way or the other. The military guys are crying because their salaries and allowances are low. There's inadequate equipment. If you go to the education sector, is in comatose. The health sector, the infrastructure. So the big question is, where is all this money going into? But I will come back to that in a moment. And before I go back to that, let me address the issue of the money that Nigeria have been generating, which is that where are the subsidies? Where are the taxes? What do I mean by that? When Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into power, he removed any subsidy that is removable. The big question is, where are these subsidies? You have removed the subsidy on petrol. The subsidy on petrol is saving Nigeria trillions of naira. Where are these trillions of naira? If you are earning more money, right, are you supposed to be borrowing more money? You are complaining that you don't have money. So you have to remove the subsidy so that you can have more money. Now that you have more money, the big question is, why are you borrowing more money? And where are the taxes? You may want to say, oh, they are yet to collect much from the new tax law. But the taxes that are being paid, even to date, the money that are being generated by immigration, customs, internal revenue service, where is all this money that you need to go and borrow 6 billion naira? And it was approved just within 3.5 hours. No thorough scrutiny, no thorough questioning, no thorough debate. Approved. You can see what Nigeria is leading to. And that is one of the disadvantages of one-party state. If you are not careful, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be a lifetime president or we go for third term. And they have already launched that idea. Recently, just days ago, the Oluwo of Iwo said that when Bola Ahmed Tinubu finishes his second term, towards the end of the second term, that it is Nigerians themselves that will be asking him to do a third term. They are laying the background. They are laying the foundation. Then they launch them bit by bit. And that is achievable. If Nigeria have this kind of legislators, if Nigeria have the kind of Senate as it is presently being constituted, I can tell you that if Tinubu wants a third term, he will get it. Just imagine it. $6 billion approved within a space of 3-4 hours. Does that not tell you that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will have his way on anything that he wants to do? Look at the way they changed the national anthem to the old one. They removed the national anthem that young Nigerians can recite. They now replace it with the one that only Tinubu and his set and his colleagues and his age mates can recite. So which country goes back to the old thing? If you want to go back to the old thing, why not go back to the old petroleum price during the days of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, or the old petroleum price during the days of Goodluck Jonathan? So the big question in all of this is that if you are not careful, you see this loan, it is just the beginning. If Tinubu gains a second term, they'll just be approving anything and everything. In fact, you guys should be praying that from now till the election, Tinubu should not sell out Nigeria. Because why? They can approve anything, they can achieve anything, and that is the end of it. They have the significant majority. In fact, they are tilting towards 2/3 in the Nigerian Senate. They are tilting towards 2/3, and if they have a 2/3, it is easy for them to change the constitution to something that will favor Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The only problem, the only place that we have problem is at the State House of Assembly, because 2/3 of the State House of Assembly also have to approve it before you can change the constitution. But then again, Tinubu already have more than 2/3 governors by his side in his party. He has about 31 or 32 governors in his party at the moment. That is more than 2/3. And you know that most of these governors are the ones that control the State House of Assembly. It is their stooge that is always been appointed as speaker. So you can see that beyond these $6 billion, wahala deal, serious wahala. But what I can tell you, the most painful thing is that Tinubu is collecting this loan, right? You that you are an APC sympathizer or a Betist, as they call themselves, you are happy. It's okay. But I can tell you that Tinubu will not be part of the future when this loan will be paid. What do I mean by that? I'm not wishing him death. Don't mistake it. Tinubu, as he is an old man. He's nearing his grave. This loan that is being collected will be paid by the generation of those your young children that are still in primary school, secondary school. By the time they begin to graduate, by the time they begin to get married, by the time they are supposed to have peace in life, the government at that time will be repaying the money, just as Tinubu now is borrowing to pay loan. That is what will happen maybe at that point in time. So the government will have no money to achieve any meaningful result. But we cannot continue like this. If we want a true development in Nigeria, shame on the Senate for this kind of passage. It is abysmal. It is disgusting, to say the least. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Political Show Blog, Dr. Omosoladeji. Subscribe, turn on your notification button. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.